Hi. Um, it's a great pleasure to see all of you here. I think this is my second time at our event, and I'm excited to be presenting a lot of information about Chainlink today. I have about like 10-15 minutes, so I can't really get into details. Maybe it's a good thing. I'm not going to bore you too much, but just give you just a brief outline of what Chainlink Labs is doing in the industry and what kind of contributions that we plan to make. And the fact that we're trying to build the ecosystem further is our goal. And I hope the market is not really good right now, but at the same time, we believe that the building is going on. Like the tech is strong, so we believe in the future, and that's why I think everybody's here. So, in that aspect, I want to give you a brief outline of what Chainlink Labs is doing. Okay, just wanted to give you a summary of 2022. Like on the top left, you will see that the total number of transactions that we enabled is 6.9 trillion. And off-chain data that we delivered on the right is 5.8 billion, blah, blah, blah. The reason I'm showing you this graph is not only to show that Chainlink Labs is executing these many transactions. It means that we are growing. The industry is exploding right now. And we just don't see it because it's hidden in the market dynamics. Just to say that we see that there's a lot of developer activities going on. The ecosystem is growing. We have about like 1,500 projects onboarding that are using Chainlink Lab solutions and so on. So we have introduced like new programs like Build and Scale that I would love to introduce to you if you are building a project so that we can just move along together, and maybe there's a lot of support that Chainlink can give. And at the same time, if we can help you build your projects and drive through the next level, then that would be great for us to work together. Just an Oracle solution is that I think this should be good enough. Just to touch upon a data Oracle is something that Chainlink provides, meaning that we provide off-chain data on-chain. So an example would be like the price of Bitcoin right now is about, I'm not sure, but is it like 21,000? Ethereum, 1,500-ish. And Avalanche price, Matic, blah, blah, blah. The gold rate, gold price, stock indexes, and also like weather, like what's the temperature here in Seoul right now at this point. All these kinds of information, including like sports bet results, are off-chain data. And we believe that it's really easy to put that on-chain because you have to keep in mind that blockchain is very, very secure and tamper-proof and resilient. But at the same time, it's a facility that is totally disconnected from the real world. It's a computer that is disconnected from the internet. So we see that these types of data that we have to provide on-chain, it seems so easy to provide maybe like the price of Bitcoin right now on-chain, but we will have to keep in mind that there's no guarantee that information is correct. There's no guarantee that there won't be manipulation. There's no guarantee that it could be tampered, or there could be like delays for minutes to days and so on. So what Chainlink does is to provide these types of information on-chain as in a resilient manner and without any delay and with the most specific and accurate price. So for now, I think the majority of the data that Chainlink provides is like, I would say like the crypto asset prices for now, and weather data, sports results, and what I mentioned before. And you'll see that how this works is that when you talk to a few projects, when we ask them, where do you retrieve the pricing information for, like, even if it's a DeFi project, you need some type of price. If it's like an NFT marketplace, you still need the crypto price to apply to your platform, because if you have like an NFT that is worth 0.1 ETH, then you need the rate of conversion with Matic, with BTC, and so on, and it changes continuously. So a lot of the projects just use from, like, they pull an API from a random exchange, and we tell them that this is pretty dangerous, because it's not safe because there's no guarantee that across all exchanges the price will be the same, and that's why there's a lot of arbitrage going on. So to enhance the situation, we use a data provider. And another issue with data provider is still there's still a single point of failure risk, meaning that there's a risk because it uses a centralized authority, meaning that if they use maybe like a cloud server, there might be maintenance going on, or there might be human error in terms of delivering the right price at the right time, and still, so there's a problem. So that's why Chainlink has an ecosystem of node operators, meaning there are node operators that run independently and they collect the prices by themselves from the sources that they autonomously choose. So what happens is for the final price that Chainlink delivers comes from this ecosystem of decentralized nodes in a way that at certain points of time, a number of nodes are selected and the median price is delivered. And then later on, another selection of nodes deliver the median price, and it happens continuously. So that's why, because of the nature of decentralization, there's a power of accuracy of delivering the cryptocurrency price. So this is one aspect of a project that Chainlink is doing. And another interesting fact that we want to share is, I would say, like I was going to emphasize on the randomness, because for NFT minting, we need a source of randomness because we have to decide who gets what, who gets the legendary NFTs, but who gets like the common version. This was never an issue, or sometimes it did become an issue in the Web2 world. And when people started complaining, the answers you had from the centralized authority was, okay, we don't expose our source code, so I'm sorry, everything was fair, but that's all we can say. But when it comes to blockchain, it's based on the public ledger, and every transaction is transparent. Every wallet that you can tap on and look at the transaction records. So now people demand transparency. So in that case, if you mint an NFT, and if the NFT minting process is concluded, you are able to see every single wallet that minted the NFT and see who got what. So if for example, if I run an NFT project and I happen to mint my own project's NFT, I mint 3, I get 3 consecutive legendary items, then it becomes a problem to the community. So there's a lot of demand in terms of randomness, not only for NFT projects, but for many occasions. For mystery boxes, whitelist lotteries, and like crypto gambling, and also in games for metaverse map generations and card draw orders and so on. And we believe that this trend is going to continue, and people are going to realize that it is important for the randomness to be transparent. So we believe that going into the future, the demand for randomness, transparent randomness, will rise. So it will go up to maybe like for all these concert ticket whitelists. So for example, if a few people apply for like BTS concert tickets, you need to provide the source of randoms for that. If a court decides on which jurors will be responsible for a certain case, we have to be able to prove the randomness. So the randomness is an aspect that the Chainlink provides in a tamper-proof and reliable and secure manner. So what does Chainlink do with this randomness? We call it the verifiable randomness function, or the VRF. So when a user asks for randomness on chain, then what happens is we have a VRF node off chain that generates a random node, but the node has a cryptographic proof attached to it, meaning it has the private and the public key. So if you demand a random number on chain, and it triggers the VRF node to produce a random number, it does produce a random number, keeps the random number for a certain amount of time, in blockchain terms, it waits for a certain number of blockchain confirmation. And then when the time comes, it delivers it onto the chain, and it's verified, meaning that it has to be cryptographically provable, and then it's written on chain. So when somebody asks, coming back to the NFT story, if somebody asks, okay, like I minted 10 NFTs and I only got common versions, like I want to know why, you will say, go find the transaction ID because it's written on chain. So evidence is there. And when you look at the transaction record, you will see that there's cryptographic proof attached to it, meaning that it was validated before it was written on chain. So these are two interesting pursuits that Chainlink has. For data feeds, we're trying to provide as reliable data as possible. So then users can trust the network, can trust the project, trust the platform, meaning that we will draw in more users. The ecosystem will flourish, meaning that the blockchain industry will prosper, is the objective that we have. And for VRF, it's provable and it's secure and it's reliable, meaning that people will have more confidence in these NFT mintings, these projects, and they'd be more interested in playing the blockchain games because they can trust that the game is conducted in a provably fair manner. So these are the two main things. And we have other solutions like proof of reserve, and we automate smart contracts. And eventually we have a proof of concept for CCIP. This is the cross-chain interoperability protocol, where we can, without intensive risk, we can message through chains, meaning that we might be able to have a situation where we don't really need bridges, meaning like bridges are one of the most biggest concerns that we have because a lot of hacks happen on the bridges. So we have announced last year that Chainlink has been working with SWIFT for international bank transfer. So this is proof of concept so far. But if we can commercialize this concept, we might be able to, for example, send you 10,000 US dollars through bank transfer, which is interpreted right through the blockchain layer and gives you maybe 17.5 ETH right on the spot. Or that's off-chain, on-chain interoperability. But for cross-chain, it's like sending ETH to the AVAX network, to Polygon network, and so on, without the help of bridge. So anyway, there are many interesting ideas that we can explore. So this is about it for my presentation. So I would like to take a few questions. And even after the questions during the network sessions, if you think you would like to maybe collaborate with Chainlink Labs, that would be very an interesting approach with, and we would be more than happy to support you and work along with you too. Any questions? All right, guys, thank you for the presentation, Chung. Yeah, I think Oracle.
Oracle is definitely not a beginner topic in Web3, but Sean really made it easy to understand and very clear. Thank you, Sean. So if anyone has a question, I think it's time.
Thank you, Sean. Actually, in the company where I work, we also built our own Oracle, and we were studying Chainlink a lot. And I have a couple of questions. So the first one is, could you please briefly somehow explain the business model of Chainlink? Because based on looking at smart contracts of Chainlink, you do not take any cuts from those requests from people outside. How do you make money?
For example, for data feeds, this is how it works. I guess the data providers are independent, meaning that we don't choose the data providers for the Oracle, for the node operators. So data providers are independently run entities. They choose, they have their own choices of which exchanges to use to pull data through, and they have their own information that they store on a continuous basis. So they're independent. But for node operators, so for example, if there's a node operator A, and the node operator A is responsible for delivering maybe 3 types of data. One is weather, meaning, and second is maybe Bitcoin price, and third, Ethereum price. Then what happens is they have to find their own data provider, and I think they negotiate with them on like how much they would have to pay them for delivery, right? So data providers, I think they make money through that way, and node operators expense their money by triggering data from the data providers and giving paying them money for the data that they use. What happens to the node operator is because they have expenses of running the nodes and maintaining, and also paying the data providers for the support. What happens is data users, being like projects and also like the main nets that we launch on the network, they need to provide a certain amount of fee for the data that they use. So on a project basis, they provide, but it's very variable because we can't charge like $5,000-6,000 per month to like a small startup project that's just building out a DeFi project, right? So it's very flexible. And also, I guess because we have like a scale deal that we have announced last year, that we go into a negotiation with like the mainnets that we launch our Oracle solution. So from that, I think there's a revenue stream there too. So that's how it works. That's the stream that it works.
So basically, you don't get any revenue from incoming requests. It's just some kind of project-based charging in advance for onboarding new DeFi projects or onboarding new nets.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And at the same time, when you look at our docs page, Chainlink is literally open source. So if you go to our docs page, you will see that we have like all the data feed that is listed, and we also have a proxy ID right next to it. So you can just use Chainlink data feeds like right on the spot. But a lot of the projects decide to write contracts with us and pay a small amount of fee because we provide like technical integration support, and we have something like Startup with Chainlink program where we connect you to some like venture capitals, because we have a list of over 50 venture capitals within our reach. And also we do some co-marketing together, and there are a lot of benefits for the project. So if you really want to use like Chainlink price fees, you can just go to our website and just trigger the proxy ID and just use it for yourself.
Thank you.
Right.
And if nobody else has a question, I have one more. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. As a developer, I use Chainlink documentation and oracles a lot, and I really love them. But I have a question: how can I contribute or connect to the Chainlink community? Because I haven't found any other way except of like a discussion page on the GitHub.
You mean
contribution? Yeah. How can I contribute or connect to the community? Chainlink, like get integrated into it.
Got it. I think we have a developer community, and I will definitely connect you to the community. Right now, like I'm not really certain that like there are like communities that you can reach out to, but I will find out and do for you.
Okay, thank you.
Like the most difficult questions are when like when I get a question from a developer. So like whenever a developer wants to ask me a question, I get nervous. But thank you. Like that was pretty simple, straightforward.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you again. I also leave a comment because my experience of oracles. I remember in 2021, the service I was in charge we used the data from Binance, and there was a bug on Binance in 2021 in October. You probably remember the price of Bitcoin mistakenly plunged more than 80%, and users of our service basically saw the price because they saw it based on Binance. They saw a wrong price as well. With Oracle, it would never happen. And we also understood that Oracle, using Oracle, especially for decentralized services, is something really essential. So yeah, thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Thank you.